Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars universe seems to be quite expansive, not just with their new books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about their new Star Wars TV shows and movies that are currently in the works that are really gonna lend a lot of lore to the Star Wars fans by Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and others out there. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new universe is that a lot of fans have been very excited about what's currently happening between George, Jon, and Dave, and exactly what kind of tricks they have up their sleeve for the new Star Wars TV shows and the lore that's about to be made canon in 2023. Now, given that, of course, there's a lot of things happening since Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni got those big-time promotions over at Lucasfilm, all thanks to the Disney executives, and that really has given us quite a bit of hope about the future of Star Wars and where it's all going. Now that brings us to the next thing here that's very important that I think a lot of fans need to be very well aware of, is exactly what's been happening with Kathleen Kennedy behind the scenes, and exactly how this involves Jon Favreau. Now Favreau, of course, has been very busy and working around the clock to bring Star Wars back to its roots, to really bring it back to the vision of George Lucas and just back to the bare-bones style of Star Wars. Now, with that being said, alright, there's a lot of things that have been happening with the Acolyte series, given that he has taken over a good portion of the show, a total of 5 episodes to be exact, out of course, the 9 that Kathleen Kennedy is only working on 4. However, things have changed since then, and Jon Favreau recently replaced some big story element that Kathleen Kennedy was planning for the Acolyte series. Now, with both Favreau and Filoni now working on Ahsoka and Mando 4, they are also beginning to develop a series of new shows that will be revealed at Celebration next year for the Star Wars community. Now, since Favreau got his promotion from Disney executives, many changes have been happening behind the scenes that involve Kathleen Kennedy. It's described that recently Favreau just erased one of Kathleen Kennedy's big plans for the Acolyte series that was going to go against George Lucas's vision for the Star Wars franchise. What Favreau recently did with one of the episodes of the Acolyte is he erased something crucial that Kathleen Kennedy was going to do with the Wills, who are godlike beings created by Lucas. Kathleen Kennedy had a plan in the script to use them in the Acolyte show that was going to completely change the characters that George had created by labeling the Wills as different names, and the creators of a Jedi god in the series. This was something that Lucas was very unhappy about for the show and never wanted this to happen for episode 6 of The Acolyte. Now let me just pause here for a second before I get to the next thing. Now, the thing about this that a lot of fans have been very much concerned about has a lot to do with the fact that the Acolyte series is now going to be basically a mixture, given that Favreau and Lucas are calling the shots on a total of 5 episodes. Kathleen Kennedy still has full power over the other 4, and I think that what we're going to get from the Acolyte now is you're going to have 2 different themes or 2 different tones kind of battling against each other, where it might even feel like 2 different shows in one, where it could really confuse the audience. And I think that, at the end of the day, what Lucasfilm, or should I say Disney, should really do is that they should really find a way to work out the contract and just get rid of Kathleen Kennedy in general from having any kind of creative input on the show at all, and just have Favreau and Lucas call the shots on the other 4 episodes to call it a day. But that's not looking likely at this point, and given that, of course, this is a big step in the right direction, that Favreau was able to call this off and erase one of Kathleen Kennedy's big plans for creating this Jedi god-like character created by the Wills, something that Lucas did not want to happen, is a big deal. Because this goes to show you that Favreau is making a lot of changes, he's creating a lot of positive changes to many of the projects that Kathleen Kennedy was creating. And though Jon and George are not writing anything for the Acolyte, they are calling the shots and telling Leslie Headland what to do and what not to do in the script. So like we discussed just a couple of weeks ago, they do actually plan on to begin filming by this December. They wanted to do it by November for the main scenes, but that has long since been delayed, and now they're moving it over to December. In the meantime, alright, a lot of sets are being built, some preliminary principal photography has been done, but nothing major. Just on-location shots. Shots of landscapes and stuff around those lines. So that brings us to the next thing that's very important that I think a lot of fans need to be aware of, is that, of course, that has now all since been deleted and erased by Favreau, since he is able to call the shots over some of the episodes, since he got his promotion over at Lucasfilm. Now, specifically, the Jedi God story that was created and was being created by both Kennedy and Leslie is now being replaced with Old Republic flashback scenes that are currently being written by Leslie Headland by the demands of Favreau to put this into episode 6 of the Acolyte series that is going to tell new secrets about the dark side of course, the Force, and new, of course, elements of the Old Republic. Now, the flashback being put in to replace Kathleen Kennedy's plan is set to involve both Darth Revan and Darth Malgus. Kennedy is said to be very angry over the fact that this part of her story has vanished from the script since, of course, Disney executives are endlessly trying to save this show with the help of Favreau and Lucas. So, the other thing I do want to point out here that's very much involved is the fact that obviously a lot of things related to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni is that they are trying their absolute best to bring back the majority of legends, including the Old Republic. Now, for those of you that are out of the loop with that era, go ahead and check it out online. Check out the cinematics, the Old Republic cutscenes for the video games. It's quite impressive, to say the least. And given that Kathleen Kennedy tried her very best to prevent all of this from happening, it is now happening, all thanks to Favreau. So, that brings us to the next thing here, alright, that really is very important as well, is that they are planning on using John Williams' music now for the Acolyte series. Not that he's back or anything like that, but they want to use prequel trilogy era themes by John Williams for the Acolyte. And initially, Kathleen Kennedy wanted nothing to do with that. She didn't want to do anything like that. And they are going to be doing that with the Acolyte now. So you're going to have a real prequel trilogy vibe to the Acolyte series, given that it will take place 70 to 80 years before Episode 1. It's close enough to kind of give it that same tone. It's the very end of the High Republic era, so to speak. Now, that, of course, could be very well controversial to some fans out there, but I don't think all that much. If you guys go ahead and look at the Old Republic cutscenes, they too used the John Williams themes from the prequel trilogy movies, and it worked amazingly. So, of course, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments. Let me know what you guys have to say about everything related to what Jon Favreau recently did to Kathleen Kennedy. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.